The world needs more doctors. Before someone can do that, they must graduate medical school. If this is the career path you choose, you should properly prepare to enter into medical school. Medical school is a large goal to achieve. To enter into medical school, you must have the proper GPA, MCAT scores, and prerequisites. You must also complete clinical shadowing and get some research done. Volunteering is another requirement, and extracurriculars are encouraged. We'll begin discussing my first point of preparedness. The MCAT is the entrance exam you need to take to enter into medical school. You will not get into any medical school without taking the MCAT. There are different sections on the MCAT. You have biology, chemistry, critical thinking and analysis, and psychology. So it's important that you prepare for all sections on the test. About half of the prerequisites you need for medical school, you also need to take these courses before you take the MCAT. So it's very important that you line your classes up so that you can take your MCAT courses before you take the MCAT. Medical schools require 1 year of English, 1 year of math, including calculus or statistics. It's very important that these maths be calculus and statistics because they can reject other math courses. They require sciences, including biology. Some medical schools accept zoology in the place of biology, but it's important to understand if that school does not accept zoology, you either need to apply to another school or take biology. You'll need 1 year of chemistry, 1 year of organic chemistry, physics, and sometimes you'll need biochemistry. Most medical schools also require a semester of psychology. Microbiology, anatomy, immunology, and neuroscience are also sciences that are recommended or preferred, but they're never required. Sciences need to be taken on site because of the labs. The only time a medical school will accept your sciences that are off site is if you went to school during the COVID pandemic. MCAT score averages for MD schools is 511. The GPA average is a 3.7. For DO schools, the MCAT score average is 503 and the GPA is a 3.5. Most schools also look directly at your science scores. So try not to let your science scores shoot under a 3.5. And if you decide to take both post-bac education, it's also important to not let that post-bac education GPA drop below a 3.7. When it comes to clinical shadowing, 100 hours is recommended, and it's important that you try your best to shadow under a physician. Sometimes it's hard to get a physician to allow you to shadow, but it's really important that you get those shadow hours in with the physician. And if you can't get shadow hours in with a physician, it's important that you get them done within the medical field. So if you can shadow a nurse or a mental health professional, even a paramedic, it's best to get those shadow hours because shadowing is really important because it lets you see the day-to-day of the medical field and it lets you see how it is to interact with patients. A lot of people say they want to be a doctor, but when they start to interact with patients, they realize that being a doctor isn't for them. So schools really look at if you were able to get those shadow hours in to be sure that you wanted to be a doctor, because they don't want to accept someone who isn't sure that they can handle and deal with patients on a day-to-day. Research is also important. No medical schools require research, but some medical schools are considered research heavy. So it's important that you look and see if your school is considered research heavy. Top medical schools typically are considered research heavy. So if you're going for those top medical schools, get some research done. For volunteer, it's a recommended 100 hours for volunteering. Quality over quantity when it comes to volunteering. It's really important that you get great opportunities to volunteer as opposed to more hours. So it's important that you're able to show your commitment to healthcare and helping others. Extracurriculars that highlight your leadership skills can also boost your application. So if you're a captain on your sports team or president of an organization you're in, that's a plus. Applying to medical school can be a lengthy process. You should begin working at the beginning of your undergrad career. There is so much that goes into it to ensure you give yourself enough time to process and prepare. The world needs more doctors. Before someone can do that, they must enter medical school. If this is a career path you choose, you should properly prepare to enter medical school. Start your healthcare career off right and be the most prepared applicant for medical school.